welcome to a lovely live commentary. Now, in this live commentary, you guys are going to be watching some heist gameplay in the background of this commentary. Now, I want to apologize if you guys can hear my fan in the background. It's hot in my room, so I have it on. I do apologize. Now, we are going to be talking about the overall gameplay, the maps, the score streaks, specialists, perks and things like that in this game. Downsides, the upsides, pros, cons, same thing as downs and ups. But yeah, getting into it, we're going to start talking about the overall gameplay. So, I've played the beta. I'm almost, as I'm recording this, to a level 40. The beta's not over yet, but it's almost over with as I'm recording this. But when you guys see this video, it'll of course be done with. Now, the gameplay reminds me a lot of Black Ops 3. Like, a lot like Black Ops 3. I really like it. It's very momentum, you got the movement. Now, of course, I can't speak the way that the beta first was because I didn't play the beta when it first came out. But the people who played PlayStation, of course, spoke out about what was wrong, this and that. I like fast-paced gameplay, and this was pretty fast-paced. I mean, I think it could be a little bit more fast-paced because sometimes the games take forever. And if people aren't playing, like if they go AFK, it even takes longer. Or if people get mad and they rage quit a certain lobby, and there's only one person on the enemy team, and there's like 5 people on your team, or 2, or whatever, how many ever people are on your team, it takes forever. And that's one thing that, it's pretty boring when gameplay takes that long. And overall, the gameplay of it is really good. The guns sound really nice. The score streaks sound really nice. Let's say you call in a attack helicopter. Let's say that sounds like it's shooting out lasers instead of machine gun ammo or whatever, That would be a little weird, so at least they went into that. Now, Treyarch, of course, they're one of my favorites Call of Duty creators. I really like the Black Ops series. It's a really good series. If you guys don't like it, that's fine. Or if you guys don't even like this beta or don't even like the game because you've seen so much gameplay of it that you're just like, okay, this is too hyped up. I'm done. I'm leaving. Just listen to what I have to say about it and what everybody else has to say about it, because we've had experience. You guys who haven't played it or maybe have played it and don't really like it, or don't think you like it by gameplay, don't judge the game until you've played it. That's all I gotta say, because the game is actually really good. I really enjoyed it. I had lots of fun and lots of rage moments, but all in all, it's a very fun game. Now, I want to get into the maps. Now, they released 6 maps. There are 2 maps that were definitely in the beta liked, and those 2 maps were Frequency. Like, every game I joined, Frequency was definitely the map. Another one, I don't exactly remember the name of it, but it was a very overused map as well. If I do remember, I'll post a picture of the map because I honestly can't remember it at the moment. But those 2 maps were definitely very, very overused. I did not like them. They're not bad maps to play on, of course. I just did not like the fact that everybody would go to that one and they wouldn't go to the other maps. So, we could get a chance to experience the other maps. There's 6 maps. There's that many maps and you're just going to 2 maps. And yeah, the place with the ambulance, I believe it starts with an O. I might be totally wrong here. Is awful. I do not like that place one bit, especially in hard points and domination. Those were absolutely horrible to play that map on. If a team gets the center of the map, you're pretty much screwed. Like, you're dead. You can even flank them, and 99% of the time you're dead unless you're lucky and none of their team is facing backwards. Because honestly, that map is just, I do not like it one bit. But it does remind me a lot of the Black Ops 2 map with the ambulance and the fire truck and the broken down buildings. I'm really bad at map names, so don't get mad at me. I'm sure I'll find pictures of these to show you guys so you know what I'm talking about. But the new one that they added in, Hacienda, is probably one of my favorite maps. It's in a huge mansion, and it's really cool, actually. Some of it is pretty OP because you can literally, in certain game modes such as Domination, and hard point, you can literally team trap people. So that's kind of normal for maps, of course, because if you guys don't know, a lot of maps in Call of Duty games are like that. But it also is very triggering at the fact that you have to deal with people constantly trapping you in your spawn, and you can't do anything about it until they either die or you spawn somewhere else. And the game is actually really good at spawning you other places, as long as no one has their little beacon thing down to spawn at. You can choose where you want to spawn, or you can just auto spawn. That's the cool thing about this game. I really like that. Now we're gonna talk about some score streaks. Now I've recently seen a lot of score streaks that are pretty decent for their score streaks, and the ones that I've seen that are like really good and that people use a lot is the Strike Team, Attack Chopper, Hellstorm, and RCXD. Now the thing about the RCXD is that it is very hard to control, but once you get the controls mastered on that, there's no problem at all. Now, what I personally like to run is the RCXD, the Hellstorm, and the Attack Chopper. I really like them. I do have the Strike Team unlocked, but I don't really care for it. I'm more of the lower streak type person. I've gotten the Attack Chopper probably once or twice in the game, and sometimes you will get put in lobbies with a bunch of people that just don't know what they're doing, and that's fine, you know, it happens. Not everybody is perfect at the game, and that's just the way it's gonna be. Now the other score streaks, there's some that I don't have unlocked, and there's some that I haven't even seen people use. So I can't say those are good or bad. When the game gets fully released, that's when you'll know which one is better or not, and depends on how good you are at the game and if you can get those higher score streaks unlocked, all that stuff. The next thing that I would like to talk about is the perks. Now, I personally like to run 4 perks because of the fact that your footsteps in this game sound like a herd of elephants running. Like, it's insane at how loud your footsteps are in this game, especially if you have your headset on. You can literally just sound whore people. That's how OP wearing a headset is and playing this game. And if people aren't running dead silence, then yeah, you can hear them taking a hike, pretty much. So the ones that I personally like to use would have to be Tactical Mask, Lightweight, Ghost, and Dead Silence. Now, a lot of people call that the pussy class because of the fact that you're running these things that are pretty much OP. Now, there's also like these things where you can use like the stem thing, or I don't know exactly what they're called. You can have armor, extra armor or something. I don't exactly know. I don't run any of them, but if you guys do, then that's fine. Like, I'm not mad. It's your choice. It's who you are. I'm not gonna be like, oh, you cannot run that. That's being a vagina, I don't care. I honestly don't. It's a game. I can't change your mind. You can't change mine. It's whatever. Now, I'm going to tell you guys about my top 4 guns that I personally like so far that are out that we can use in the beta. Of course, there's other guns that are in the game that are not released or able to use because it's just a beta. Or people like to call this a demo, I guess. I don't know why, they just do. But my top 4 would definitely have to be the KN-57, which is an AR. It has really good firing rate. Sometimes it shreds, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you're just like, okay, this gun is crap. I also really like the gun in Black Ops 3. That was one of my favorite guns to use. I got that gun gold in Black Ops 3 right away after my SMGs were. So it's a very good gun overall. I recommend using that. The next one would have to be the Vapor, or the VAPR, and it's also called XKG, the Vapor XKG, but I just call it the Vapor, and it's an AR. It also likes to shred, and I would recommend putting rapid fire on it too. No, like, reticle or anything like that is needed, because the one that's on it is really good. I think that using that one is amazing. Like, no questions asked about that. the GKS, which is an SMG, it's one of the first ones that you unlock, and it's really good, especially at close range. Even far range, it's decent. It's not as good as some of the other ones at far range, but it's a decent gun. I would recommend it if you guys are into SMGs and want that good close range kill. But most of the time people are far away from you, so that's another downfall about that one. But it happens, not much you can do, you know. The next gun, which is my last gun on my top 4, is the Spitfire, and it's also SMG. Now, this gun is amazing. I believe this gun was nerfed. I'm not sure if any of these guns have been, but I didn't read it, so I do apologize if I'm wrong. You guys can correct me because I don't know all my facts. I just go off of what I hear from people and all this stuff. But the Spitfire is definitely a gun that I would use when you unlock it. In the beta, you unlocked it like level 31 or something like that. I'm thinking that it's definitely going to be unlocked at either that level when the game is fully released or even a little later, because it's a very good SMG, very good at far away and close up. I would recommend putting a reticle on it because of the fact that the SMG's default scopes, reticles, are they reticles or scopes? I'm not exactly sure what they call them in here, but it's crap unless you're close to the person. You can't shoot them far away. You can, but it's really hard to look through the scope, reticle, whatever you want to call it. So I recommend having one on it because it's just easier that way. Now we're going to move on to my top 4 specialists. Now, I really didn't have like a favorite specialist at first when I started playing this, but going in order in the ones that I think are my top favorite, starting from the best to my least favorite that I like to use, I should say, is, you know, it's pretty interesting. So the first one that we have here is Torque. Now, Torque has a nice beard going on. He's one of my favorite ones to use, especially in domination and hard points and like heist and just things like that. He's a really good person to use in those type of game modes. Now, heist, you don't really get your specialist ability as like your weapon ability, I should say. You don't get that. At least I've never personally got it. I don't even know if you can buy it or whatever, but he definitely is a very OP guy. So if you guys are wondering what kind of like weapon in special issue he uses a barricade and he uses a razor wire. Those are both very, very, very good things to use in the game modes that I mentioned, because of the fact that it's kind of OP in a way, because that shield, if you put the shield in the hardpoint area at a certain end and just put wires on each of the doors that enter and the shield on the other door, like, they're pretty much, the enemy team can't get in. That's what's OP about him. Now we're going to move on to the next specialist that I personally like. His name is Ruin. You guys know him from Black Ops 3. He's not new like Torque is, but Ruin is he's a pretty cool guy, you know. I really like him. His momentum is good. I'd honestly say use him in the team deathmatch more than using him in domination and heist and stuff. I mean, heist might actually be a good area to use him in as well, but mainly team deathmatch, kill confirm, things like that, he's very good to use in. His weapons are gravity slam, which of course were called gravity spikes, and the last Call of Duty Black Ops 3, well, it's not the last one, but in Black Ops 3, and then the special issue is his grapple gun, which people think is pretty OP, you know, it's whatever, but yeah, those are his weapons. He's a very cool guy. I overall use him in TDM, domination, and kill confirm. Those are the only ones I've ever used him in. I don't really use him much, but yeah. The next one that we have is my girl Battery. Now, Battery was and is my favorite specialist from Black Ops 3. I use that girl so much. She was the first person that I unlocked every uniform for, so that tells you how much I like her. But she's not my favorite in this one, and not because of the fact that she's pretty boring or whatever. I just really like Torque, so to say. But Battery is very good to use in every game mode. There's, like, no doubt about it. She's pretty OP in certain ways. Her weapon is a war machine, of course, and her special issue is a cluster grenade. Now, the cluster grenade is a very good thing to use, especially in certain game modes. I'd honestly say every game mode, not certain, because every game mode I've gotten lots of kills with the cluster. Well, not a lot because I don't use her a lot, but, you know, I've gotten a pretty decent amount for using her, and, you know, she's a pretty good person to use in those types of game modes, like any that's out. I don't know exactly if there's one she's not good in. I mean, I honestly don't know. Now, this next specialist, he is a new guy. His name is Crash. He is a medic, and he is one of my favorite guys to use because of the fact that he can heal the whole team. Say you have everybody on your team is in your party, okay? And they're like, oh my god, please use your weapon, which your weapon is your TAC 5. I believe that's how you say that. And that is your, like, little, I'm going to call it iPad, but it's not an iPad, of course, but it's like one. You pull it out, you know, you type in this thing, and then it heals your whole team. That's really cool. It's kind of OP in a way, but it's cool. Now, a special issue is an assault pack, which, of course, gives you full ammo, all this stuff. So, if you're running low on ammo, and, you know, you're going off on a streak, and your gun disappears because you have no ammo and there's no one near you to, like, get a gun from, as in, like, there's none that dropped on the ground, well, your best bet is to run and find the assault pack that Crash has dropped. It's a very, very good thing to use for the team. Now, those are my top 4 favorite specialists to use. Now, the other specialists that are in the game are Ajax, Firebreak, Nomad, Prophet, Seraph, and Recon. Now, those guys, you know, was Ajax in the other one? I don't remember if Ajax was, but Firebreak was, Nomad is, Prophet, Recon, and Seraph were. So, Recon was pretty much the Vision Pulse girl, the one with the bow and arrow, I think? I don't know, I might be wrong. I haven't played Black Ops 3 in a while, but those are those top 4 specialists that I personally like, and then I named off the other ones. Now we're going to get into the OP specialists. Now you're like, there's actually OP specialists in this game? As of right now, yes. Will they be buffed or nerfed or whatever in the future? I don't know. I have no clue. If they will, like, buff some of the ones that are bad, make them better, nerf some of the ones that are OP. But the ones that I think are pretty OP is Crash. He's on my top for OP because of the fact that he can heal the whole team, and he can give you guys an assault pack. He does earn you your score streaks faster as well, I believe. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, he does. He earns you your score streaks faster. The next one would have to be Ruin, because of the fact that he has his grappling hook. And if you haven't played the beta, or maybe you have played the beta, you'd understand exactly where I'm coming from in this. So, if you've played the beta, you will know that Ruin's grappling hook can be very, very OP at times. Like, he can just come in out of nowhere and kill you like nothing. That's how OP he can be sometimes, and I don't want them to get rid of his grappling hook because that's how Ruin is supposed to be as a specialist, and that would ruin him as a specialist if they got rid of it. And a lot of people also don't like the gravity spikes because of the fact that it's kind of like a oh shit moment. Like, you're freaking out, you're in the middle of people, they're shooting you, and you just use them. That's pretty much what it's like. A lot of people call him the pussy specialist because of that. I personally don't care. I mean, I've gotten killed by gravity spikes, of course. They don't call him that in here, but I'm just going to call him that in this game because of the fact that I'm used to it. But there's nothing you can do. It's a game. Deal with it. The next one would definitely have to be Ajax. Now, you're probably wondering, why is Ajax OP? He has this weapon, which is called the Ballistic Shield. And he has a special issue called the 9 Bang. The ballistic shield is pretty OP because you can literally mount your gun inside it and just shoot, and you can't take any damage unless they break your shield or they shoot you in the back. And the shield takes forever to break. It literally takes forever. Like, I've used the shield for a decent amount of time and it didn't break. The only time I died was when I got shot in the back, the enemy. So he's very OP. Something needs to be done. I don't know if they maybe lower the amount of damage it takes to destroy it. I don't exactly know what they're going to do, but I hope somewhere along the lines that gets fixed. Now the 9-bang is definitely OP because it's like this big flashbang. It's like a stun flashbang type thing. And your screen turns white and your character puts their hand over their face, of course, because they got flashbang pretty much. And it stays on you for a very long time. And I would say about up to like 20 seconds or more. That's what it feels like to me. I'm not entirely sure. It could be 10 seconds, but it's still a long time. Say the whole enemy team comes, rushes in, and Ajax throws his 9-bang, and it hits your whole team. That team could literally just kill you all because of the fact that that thing is so OP. And I think that needs to be fixed, in my honest opinion, because it's insane that that guy has, to be honest with you. Now, getting into my favorite game modes that I have played, I would have to say Heist is definitely my favorite. Heist is amazing. Like, if you guys like CSGO or have ever played CSGO or watched it or whatever, I personally haven't played CSGO, but I like watching CSGO. I think it's very cool of a game. That's pretty much what it is. It's pretty much a rip-off of CSGO, but I personally don't care. I like rip-offs of games. Like, look at PUBG ripping off, what was it, H1Z1, and then Fortnite ripping off PUBG. You know how it goes. It doesn't bother me at all. It's whatever. It's a game. As long as people like it, that's all that matters. I really like that one. It's also a better version of Search and Destroy, in my opinion. You don't have to deal with all the flashbangs and nades being thrown at you. It's, you know, you have to buy your weapons, all this stuff. My next favorite would have to be TDM, of course. I really like TDM. And then Domination. Those three would definitely have to be my favorite. I don't mind Hardpoint either. But Domination just has a better vibe to it, in my opinion, because of the fact that, you know, a lot of people fight over B because B is the one that matters. A and C are just a waste of space. You know, B just, it matters the most, in my opinion. Control, which is the other game mode that they had available, I do not like Control. I do not. And if you're wondering what Control is, pretty much you have these, like, A and B. I don't think there's a C. I haven't played it in a while, so I don't exactly remember. But here's what it is. So control is you take turns attacking and defending the object, okay? So you have A and B, and the enemy has to either attack and you have to defend it, and vice versa, you know, when the roles switch. And sometimes, if a team is smart, they'll split up. One half will go to A, one half will go to B, and you know, that's kind of like your logic of the thing. Now, I honestly don't care for Control because of the fact that it's pretty boring in hindsight, I guess you could say. I don't know exactly. Some of you guys may like it, some of you guys may not. Now, the next one is Search and Destroy. I personally had never played Search and Destroy until Black Ops 3. I really enjoyed Search and Destroy when I played it in Black Ops 2. That is when, after, like, I started playing it in Black Ops 3, I'm like, this isn't bad at all. I'm going to go try it on Black Ops 2 when they did the backwards compatible thing for it. I really enjoyed it. It was fun. But I don't really care for it in here. I don't. And that's just my opinion. I'm sure a lot of you guys care for it and like it. But I personally don't. That's just my opinion. But, yeah, guys, overall, I do recommend you guys spend that $60 on this game, or $100 depending on which version you want. $80, $100. I believe those are the next prices of the other two that are available. But yeah, guys, I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button, comment if you wish, and subscribe if you're new. Hope you guys have an awesome day, and peace out, my friends.